Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psychos Planners, always powered by coffee each and every time. Not sponsored by Jimmy's Egg. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that is a chain of decent breakfast place. Look, there's even the mascot. He's got an egg with a knife and a fork. Yikes. Anyways, uh, I hope everybody's doing good. And look, Dave's first today. Yes, hey. Mix here too. That's beautiful. I had I had some people that were actually concerned about my welfare. Anyways, how you doing? How you doing, my friend? Hopefully doing well. Hopefully maybe somehow we can hang soon or something. That'd be nice. I would not mind that at all. Maybe we can, I don't know, shoot over coffee or a beer or something. Needless to say, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We already got 10 people already in. It's only been a minute and a half. I love you guys very much. Hi, Scott. Always good to see you, too. And even Satan has showed up, and he basically is saying, "Hey, Paul, good evening." And you know what, Satan? Hopefully, good evening for you too. Oh God, yeah. So this is the avatar you choose, huh, Satan? My God, you're killing me. You people are killing me slowly but surely. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with that, I guess, in this case. But so the gist is this, though. I decided I wanted to take, you know, I wanted to take a week off, just to try to decompress. Ha ha ha. And we'll explain, of course, the title, Beatles Undercover RSD and Other Foibles. Um, it's kind of slight clickbait, but not too much. Not too much on this one. But I'm just, like I said, I was hoping everybody is doing really, really well. All things considered, right? We ended up getting about into, what was it, close to 70 degrees today. And that was good. I know that some areas got very wet and such. We've had lots of things going on in the world, right? We always do, but we end up going to listen to our music and coming here, which I think, I love you guys for that. We got to 70 degrees today in Wyoming. Jeez, wow, mid-April. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, not I I shouldn't be the one to tell you this, but it is tax day today. You got till midnight to get your postmarked for your taxes. I don't mind this. Well, yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. Dave, if you wanted to come up, I dropped invite. But so we've got some things to talk about. We're shooting for between 60 and 90-minute show, like we always try to do now. Oh wow, 93 in Arizona. Mick says, yeesh. But if it's a dry heat, that's the thing. When I was in Wyoming, I remember that was the first time I ever dealt with dry heat in the middle of the summer, and it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't so bad. Um, at least in my 16-year-old idiot body, it was not so bad. I just made sure I actually walked around Casper, Wyoming, without a shirt on. That was when I wasn't fat. I put a lot of sunscreen on, though. I know that was too much information for you people, but that's okay. We care to share here. That's for sure. That's for sure. Oh man. So no new subs this week because last week we had a bunch, but that's okay. Can't always win. But I will ask this. I usually ask once or twice a show. To if you feel like it, please give a thumbs up. That's always helps. If you haven't subbed, to the show, please do. You'll get some entertaining content for sure. But tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies about Psycho's Platters. I've been doing that on and off this week too, with various people. And then lastly, of course, as we've talked about, always powered by coffee each and every time. If you care to, it's not a requirement. Kindly donate. The money goes to getting more coffee for the show and getting records and CDs, that we can talk for Jukebox from Hell or just basic any other show material. And that's what it is. And even Satan is telling me, hit the thumbs up, folks. I don't know why I chose to use Dr. Claw's voice for Satan, but we're going to do that through the rest of this show today. All right. Well, this video is in tribute. Oh boy. Yeah. We got two. Actually, there was three, but for the life of me, I could not pull up anything for the third one. So we're just going to basically talk about the two. So, in tribute, Nino Tempo died at the age of 90. He was a clarinet and a sax player originally, and age 7, he appeared on TV with Benny Goodman. How about that, huh? With Benny Goodman. And he later was on the Horace Heidt radio show. Now, if Horace Heidt doesn't sound familiar to you, that's quite all right, because we're talking about the days of 78. Okay. He had a band called Horace Heidt and his Musical Nights. Now, here's an interesting trivia for you. I'm sorry, I don't remember what years he was a member. I think it was for a year or two. But Mr. Art Carney, yeah, Norton from the Honeymooners, was a member of Horace Heidt and his Musical Nights in the 40s, if I remember correctly. Lisa says 66 here. It's nice. If you want, come on up, dear. Would love to have you. We're gonna do different things here today. If we get enough people, we might do game show, which is a last minute surprise. I wasn't gonna do that. Anyways, he was a child actor though in the Glenn Miller Story with Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy. But I didn't know that. And I mean, I've seen Glenn Miller's Story a long time ago for you big band people. Oh, that's okay. Be careful. Be safe. It's always important. Be careful. Be safe, especially in today's world. He was a member of the Wrecking Crew, and we all know who the Wrecking Crew is. It consisted of at least a core, what do we want to say, a dozen to maybe 20 different musicians that the Wrecking Crew was involved, but Nino was one of them. And in 1963, of course, his big hit, I'm getting there. You put the cart before the horse. And of course, you've got 3 of the 45s. I'm just giving you grief. But yes, Deep Purple, 1963, with Sister April Stevens. That's right, it was his sister. It was a brother and sister act. But in 1973, Nino Tempo and Fifth Avenue came out. Here we go, kids. First video of the day. Yeah, well, what am I supposed to do? Not much I can say about that right now. Ding dong. But I'm going to show. We're going to play a little bit of this. Oops, sorry, clicked the wrong button. Now this one here, 1973, Nino Tempo and Fifth Avenue with Sister James. Like I said, we're just going to play tastes. Anyways, there's your taste. That ended up actually being a Northern Soul hit, I'm told, in the mid 1970s. The UK actually had, there was airplay in 75 actually for that song again. So I thought that's kind of cool. Um, yes, as far as I know, but I don't have specifics. I don't have specifics, Terry, on that one. But here's another little factoid about Mr. Nino Tempo that I did not know. And if you, this is funny, in the 1980s, he was a voice actor for a few Garfield specials. You know, Garfield the cat? Yeah. So Nino Tempo was a voice actor in maybe one of your favorite Garfield specials, and you just didn't know. Well, now you know, and knowing was half the battle, G.I. Joe. We go on to the next one, which I found out about, oh, I don't know, around lunchtime, noonish today. Les Binks passed away at age 70. Judas Priest drummer from 1977 to 79. Yeah, that kind of bummed me out. He was supposed to also end up in KK's Priest. He was originally declared to be in that band, but unfortunately, health issues caused him to back out of that. It's too bad because I would have been neat to see him, you know, come full circle, you know, at least with some of the Priest people. But basically, though, Les started out working for Eric Burdon, all right, and he also drummed on Roger Glover's Butterfly Ball and the Grasshopper's Feast from 1974. He also played for the pop band Fancy on their hits Wild Thing and Touch Me. And that one is what we're going to play. I know. If the YouTube people wouldn't be so bothersome, I'd play whole songs here. Although there may be one we're going to play, which will be the next one that we're going to get to. But so let me go get some more coffee, okay? Don't you 25 people, don't leave, please. Eventually, I'm going to get a coffee carafe so that I wouldn't have to disappear as much. Anyways, John went off and said that they announced noting Les Binks passing today went on. It was a delay. March 15th is when he was passed. Well, like I said, I did not know that. And what, you know, Wyoming Dave loved both songs by Fancy. Arizona Type 68. Their version of Wild Thing is great 70s porn music. That may not surprise me. Curvy Lisa Type 91. I don't understand. Dave Type 95. Jeff Type 95. Well, what's my type? My type is a cute little redhead. Never mind. I'm just being obnoxious. Dave got 20 records. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd love to get 20 records myself, at least new stuff. Although I still have things to listen to anyway. So let me go get the coffee here. Now we're up to 27 people. I'll have the coffee here. Don't leave, and then we're going to start explaining the title a little bit, okay? Yes, I know. I'll switch it. My original coffee maker crapped out. So that's why I told you that's why I have a backup. Mr. Coffee works. That's why you got a little empty space up on top. But I already took the containers out, so. Well, thank you for sticking around, guys. All right, let's see here. Yeah, you might as well go get some coffee, Ron. You know, I'm just trying to figure out all of this stuff here. Saying 93. I'm getting the coffee too. Kick ass. Ron and I talked about, I don't know if I'm going to get the name right. John Schaefer. I hope I got that right. The guitarist for Iced Earth has mentioned that Jesus is the only way. So basically, he has become a born again Christian. I'm going to be curious to see how that pans out for Iced Earth, if any future records, because I know they haven't put anything out in a couple years, like what, 6-7 years. 45 records. I always love 45s. I'm a sucker for those. Dark Wizard, How Many Days Rained in Noah's Ark. What is all of this? This is too weird. Got the Pastor Bob Headbangers brew coffee going. Yes. I still have the leftover Folgers, but we're almost done with the Folgers. It's a bunny and a chicken. Now, not to be confused with REO, a man. What is it? A man? His dog and his chicken. That's another completely thing from 90. Yeah, John Schaefer is now a born-again believer. That's right. Hey, Ron H. and Jeff Allen. Hiya, Dave. Yeah, it's been a while. If you want, come on up. That's always cool, because we're going to be getting ready to explain different things. Oops, that's not what I wanted this minute. Sorry, gang. I do actually try to be prepared. I do, and I have been trying to be a little more prepared lately, but sometimes things still go awry. All right, so basically, I got something in finally from Amazon. I went and picked it up. I thought they were going to deliver it here. It turned out it was in the mailbox. So I'm like, well, at least it showed up. Sorry, I thought I took your comment down. Hey, Dave. But it's a book from 1998 that I thought was kind of fascinating in its own strange way. I flipped through it. But it's called Beatles Undercover. Yes, here's the front and here's the back. And the thing is, though, okay, written in Canada here, it looks like. But what the premise is, and this is Christopher Englehart, okay, contains bonus CD, which we're going to talk about that. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Florida, Mr. Ron Haggerty, Pastor Ron.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. Blessed beyond what I deserve. So this is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, let's pan on that a minute. Yeah. So what's it called?
Pastor Bob Headbangers Brew. This is the holy cacao flavor, so it's like a chocolate infused coffee. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's Pastor Bob Beeman. He's out there in Tennessee, and all of the proceeds from the coffee that he sells goes to his homeless ministry out there in Tennessee.
Nice. Why does that name sound so familiar to me?
Pastor Bob Beeman?
Yeah.
Well, he's big in the Christian metal realm. He's been pioneering the Christian metal movement for 40 plus years now.
Oh, okay.
So he's been big on that.
Mick says, "Hey, how are you?" I saw some pictures this week. Something about Barren Cross, by the way, which I have nothing, unfortunately, from Barren Cross, but they were live on stage, I guess. It's some festival or something. I was like, there's a name. Oh, no, wait, I take that back. I do have one album from Barren Cross. I do, from the 80s. Boy, oh boy, do they look. Yeah, let's see.
I've got the first two albums in this live. I just picked up this live CD a couple weeks ago. That's Hotter Than Hell live. So that's a fantastic live album. They're good. Good band.
Nice. Do Marines wear shorts? Well, especially if you have to land in the water, it would probably help them. Anywho, so the thing is, and I did not expect this, but this is autographed. Okay, so I got this book for $3 and shipping, and I'm just, I can't quite understand that. It said to Tony, and he says, "Thanks for the great endorsement." So this Tony person must have greatly endorse this book. I hope this book keeps you up at night. And I cannot figure out the rest of this. Yeah, anyways, Dwell in Peace and signed by the author, September 1998. Now, the premise of the book is, for Beatles Undercover, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's the Beatles solo, okay, but that, like, for example, they did some sessions for other people while they were the Beatles, but this is going to heavily go 70s, 80s up until 1998 for solo sessions of other artists. All right. So that is the reason why I grabbed this thing, because I think it's one of those categories that isn't touched upon very much in Beatle lore. And I also ended up, there was a free CD with this thing. And I got this next clip. I can't talk today. This next clip that I'm going to show you, but let me read this to you first. See, here's the CD. And it just basically says Beatles Undercover. There's 3 tracks, and their incantation, let's spend the night together and answer me, my love. Now, it says here about the CD, the accompanying CD contains 3 previously unreleased recordings available only with this book, which were produced by John Lennon. 2 of the 3 songs were arranged by Lennon, and the lyrics for the song Incantation were written by John. The songs were recorded in early '75 at the Record Plant Studios, New York, with a backing band originally called Bomph. Now, you Lennon people, if you remember, his last taped, televised, live, if you will, even though it was taped, performance was the 2 songs that they did. It was John Lennon and Bomph, which I'm not going to explain what that really stands for. But they do 2 songs, okay, and they have these 2-faced masks, all right. Well, basically, Bomph turns into Dog Soldier. That is the name of that they renamed themselves. Now, this song that I'm going to play you, The Incantation, is performed by Dog Soldier with Patrick Jude singing lead vocals. As well as helping to produce the song, John wrote the lyrics. His lyrics was inspired by an Indian he had met named Rolling Thunder. Dog Soldier took their name from the Lennon's lyrics for the song. They backed Lennon April 18, 1975 at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel for the salute to Sir Lou Gregg. Roy Cicala, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was the owner and chief sound engineer at the record plant and had helped John Lennon with most of his recordings. Laurie Burton had previously sung backing vocals on a couple of Lennon's recordings also. So here we are playing, oops, what the heck? Here we are playing, my, get back in there. Playing, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is today with me and trying to get things going, but here is Incantation. Just call me if you can't get his number. All he's got is a real understanding, soaking through his lips and watch him get down to the unreal voodoo and shove it to the living dead. Incantation. Anyways, you get the
That's good.
gist of that. You get the gist of that one.
So you say that's a Beatles solo project?
John Lennon went and wrote the song, and he also produced and arranged it.
I like that's probably the best John Lennon song outside of the Beatles.
I kind of dug it too. Mick, James, how you doing?
Someone said like Sly Stone. I'd have to agree with that.
Oh no, did Wink Martindale died? Oh, well, I guess he'll be playing tic tac toe in heaven, playing with his deck of cards. Oh well. Yeah, good weirdness, Sly Stone like even. And yeah, so John Lennon and Dog Soldier, it's too bad because could you imagine Dog Soldier backing John on a great album after Rock and Roll in '75? That he would have been back in the, extra in the charts. Doug here says, hey, got your invite, but I'm on the road right now in Kansas. Well, you know what? Say hello to the band for me since you're on my way home. Have a good night, everybody. Yes, prayers to get back. Are we still going to do coffee tomorrow night, Doug? Just say yes or no. Richard, yes. Hello, friends of the VC Misfit Toys. Fact. Rest in peace, Wink. I'm telling you, that's depressing. Hey, Satan says, hey, Richard. Oh, boy. 94 is a good age. Yeah, he got to live a full life. Hi, Satan. Yeah.
I rebuke thee, Satan, in the name of Jesus.
That's right. You betcha. Anyways, so let's see. Then, of course, there's all kinds of other things in this book, though. Little bits of stuff. I mean, of course, we end up hitting on some of the people like Bob Dylan, but you got bands like the Escorts, and then the Everly Brothers, with Wings of a Nightingale. Somebody named Sylvia Griffin that I never heard of, and George plays slide guitar on a track. Screamin' Jay Hawkins, and the producer was possibly Paul McCartney for the record "Screamin' the Blues." I mean, the Jeff Healey band is another one, and of course because it was "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," but George is on it, so it's like just fun stuff like that. So one of the little things in session wise that I want to show and play a little bit of from 1978. If you're a Hall & Oates fan, this All Along the Red Ledge was the name of the album. Didn't do very well on the charts, but the song The Last Time is what we're looking at here.
You know what? I just realized the beard is gone. You lost some of your face there, Paul.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It needed to be done.
I just had mine trimmed up, kind of trimmed at the barber.
Let's see here. Paul, you can do better than this. What? Well, what do you expect? I've been gone for a week. Yes, it is roller skating music. But there's going to be some other little tune I'm going to play in a minute too. Yes, I do love Hall & Oates. I do. For one night, it was Paul & Oates because I showed up at the John Oates concert. I have a picture with him. It was like, ladies and gentlemen, Paul & Oates. Hey, all you crazy kids, ain't that right, Chris? And look, even Satan says, good evening. Satan, Jesus cares about you. What a friend we have in Jesus. I was kidding. I know. I kid.
Yeah.
For it's music for me to poop on.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So I don't know the RSD part of the title. I can't. I couldn't afford RSD, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't afford that stuff. But I went over some of the list, some of it. You know, um, Blackstone Cherry. I like Blackstone Cherry. Blackstone
Yeah.
Cherry, I guess, was putting out a new disc on Record Store Day, which I'm like, I like Blackstone Cherry. I haven't heard anything from that. Collective Soul. I love me some Collective Soul. Blender was going to be the album on vinyl. Um, and I know some people have already brought up about this. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm Catholic and I care.
Yeah.
Count your rosaries. Kokomo is poop.
I grew up with that song.
Dead Wax Randy is always a complainer. Now, you two. Hello, Paul. Hello, Paul and Ron.
Hey, Randy.
RSD is pricey, and they need to knock it off. They need to drop the prices at least 25% minimum. Can't wait to get the new Elton John. You know, is it wrong that really I haven't really cared for any of Elton's output since maybe the late 90s? I just, for some reason, after 2000, 2001, it just wasn't really. Yeah, I will say this, though. There's a song that makes me almost cry every time I hear it, and it's Sacrifice, because I think of my kids. I think of my kids when I hear that song. Would have loved to get the Easter egg vinyl. Oh, God. Well, you know what, though? It's not all it's cracked up to be, that Easter egg vinyl. It would have been funny if it was an Easter egg vinyl and the cracks in the Easter egg were playable.
Hey guys.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
Paul, yeah. Forgot your name.
You don't remember whose show you're on. That's okay. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I'm looking at Ron's shelves and I ask myself, did they really make that many metal? Yes, they did.
I barely even scratched the surface. In fact, this isn't all metal. I've got, I got blues and jazz and funk and soul in there too. So
are those Calex shells, Ron? Calex?
No, I bought these at Walmart. These are
cool.
just like the cubes, they kind of go through. They're more meant for like these file things, but they were just the right size for records. So what I have behind them is like the styrofoam noodle things. I cut the noodle things down so they don't go all the way back to the wall.
Oh, smart.
They work great for the records.
I learned that from another VC guy. Oh, shoot.
Ron has everything you need.
Yeah.
That's what Lisa says.
Little bit of everything. I got some praise and worship for you. I got some thrash metal for you and everything in between.
Hey, Dark Wizard John.
Better Homes and Garden Walmart shells are great.
That's what they are. That's what they were. The Better Home and Garden Walmart shelves.
That reminds me. Speaking of, you said worship albums or whatever, but there's a new group out now, and it's got Neil Morse and Phil Keaggy.
Yes. I heard about that, but I haven't heard anything from it yet.
I heard the single. It's pretty good. I'm just like, I love Phil Keaggy to begin with. I like Neil Morse, and I'm like, holy McMoly. And then I'm trying to remember. There's another big name in that project.
I'm a big fan of this guy, Chris Tomlin.
Oh, okay. I've heard of Chris Tomlin, but
Tomlin, yeah,
I haven't heard the music.
Yeah, he's got a lot of popular. They play him on Christian radio all the time, but he's got a lot of popular songs. But I really dig his stuff. He doesn't get too much into the like synthetic sounds like the modern pop type stuff. He still does actual natural instruments and stuff like that. So
Tim reviewed the Alex Chilton set. That's another one. I don't know if I didn't write that down. Alex Chilton, I want to listen to it first.
He's from the
Lisa says yep, that's right. And Big Star and a few others. Yeah. Elton's the 11/11/70 live that he did a few years ago is the one to find.
It's a live album.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't there like extra tracks or something from that show or whatever? DC Talk, Elevation Worship, Hillsong. Yeah. I know who DC Talk and Hillsong are. I got to confess, I'm not really too much into, I guess I'm an old fogey when it comes to Christian music. It's pretty much 70s, 80s, and early 90s for me.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Now, we have one of the bigger churches, and I don't like this church, no offense, because to me, I think it's a mega church. I'm not
Is
a
it
big
very,
fan.
very charismatic? One of those charismatic churches? Very, very charismatic?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't been there in a couple of years, but I'm going to tell you that the time that I was there, the pastor was admonishing his people for not helping to donate enough for the offerings. I'm going, what? This jackass, and I can say that, he got elevated. He is the president of the regional of the Southern Baptist Association down here. There's all kinds of councils and conferences. But in other words, this guy's a bigwig now. His name is Ronnie Floyd. And Ronnie Floyd, they call it the Three Cross Church because there's three really large, I want to say they're 20 feet high in the air, these metal crosses, okay? The building is big. It looks beautiful on the outside, but, it's a mega church, okay? And get this, he has 3 or 4 satellite churches, or he did, excuse me, because he no longer has anything to do with this, but all around Northwest Arkansas, and each one of them happens to have a helipad on each top of the building so that he could take his helicopter. I'm like, what? Now, the other thing, and I'm just throwing this out there for descriptive purposes without mentioning an opinion. He wrote a book about basically gay bashing. That's what he's pretty much known for down here, is that book and the helipads and the probable misuse of funds and such. But needless to say, what I was going to say, though, why I brought this up, is that there's music ministries, of course, in most churches. And they got, and I wish I remembered the gentleman's name, but I can tell you that he is a member of For Him. And he goes around to different, this church is one of his churches that he goes to and does occasional performances, but he goes to other churches that are attached to the. I know I'm having a hard time explaining today, but so this guy from For Him though works at the Three Cross Church probably a couple months out of the year is what I'm getting at. Yeah, see, we got a mega church. The last time I went to a mega church, believe it or not, it was Randy Travis. Back about 20 years ago. Actually, it was a really good show. Really, really good show. I was pleasantly surprised. Take Me Back is a good one, Lisa. I can't remember the artist, but I had the album in the 70s.
I came from a pretty big church, and we kind of broke off, our head pastor and his wife. We all sort of broke off from that church and started a small church kind of from, and he does the oh, no, I can't think. You're rubbing off on me, Paul.
Sorry.
When we get the what do you call it? Oh my gosh, we don't pass the basket around. We take the donations in the back, whatever person wants to put in there, or they'll donate on the app or whatever. We don't pass a basket around. He mentions it at the beginning of the sermon, and that's it. He doesn't push the subject.
That's smart.
And people are very, very faithful. Yeah.
Yeah. See, some pastors are out to fleece the flock now. Is he related to Uncle Floyd? Who knows? Hey, James. Born and raised Catholic until I gained my sanity. And believe it or not, I get where he's coming from on that, okay? Yeah. Because I'm only saying this for descriptive purposes, but in my family, we had former Catholics that converted to Lutheran. So that is what I am.
I was brought up in a Lutheran church.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how we got on this topic, but we'll go back to what we were talking about anyway.
Hey,
So,
Paul, I don't mean to interrupt. Here's some recent finds.
oh, okay, sure. Hang on a minute. Oh, that's a nice looking Bobby Darin.
First album from '58.
Is that a harp label?
Oh yeah, Doug was asking me about that. Yeah,
Nice. That's an original press with a harp label.
yeah, I know it is. Yep, and
Oh, stop.
and some jazz albums I found. Grover Washington Jr.
A secret place. Shh. So he can play his, what is that? A oboe, a clarinet? What is it?
He plays a soprano and tenor sax.
Okay. How sexy.
So that's the back cover.
Who's
Yeah.
that? Did that say David Benson on there? Is that Dave Benson?
Oh, Dave Gerson.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It was blurred.
takes a
Nice.
while for the stupid webcam focuses
Oh, gotcha.
I agree with you, Jeff.
Yeah, Dave Grayson, yeah. And Ramsey Lewis, jazz pianist.
I had some of his stuff too.
Has a timing strip promo.
I gotta confess, Dave, seriously, that as far as for like jazz is concerned, you and my friend Doug Fields, host of Vinyl Grotto, probably are my two biggest jazz people.
I seen Doug's post on his Vinyl Grotto page. He likes some jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Herbie Mann album.
I had a couple of his.
A jazz flautist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yes, and Barry Manilow doing a jazz album a few weeks ago.
Oh boy, I've come across that album.
Has Gary Mulligan, Sarah Vaughan, Mel Torme, Munda Lowe, Shirley Mann on it for jazz musicians. I think it's his only jazz oriented album.
It's a miracle. It's a true blue spectacle. The
Yeah.
miracle
I know
is
that
you. Anywho.
So not to go too far off of what you were talking about, just to take a second, because you mentioned earlier, like in the beginning of the show, that John Schaefer is now a born-again Christian.
Yes.
Their second singer, the guy who sings on Night of the Storm Rider, which is my favorite Iced Earth album, is now a born-again Christian. I forget his name now, but I have him as a friend on Facebook. And he's got a power metal band called Seventh Servant.
Nice.
Album a couple years back. So the born again thing in and out of Iced Earth has kind of been a thing. So the seed was planted, and I guess he finally took. So
very nice.
That's good news.
I mean, I hate to sound like old in story, but the last time I remember hearing Iced Earth in anything was when Ripper Owens joined for an album or two. And I'm like, wow, to go from Judas Priest to Iced Earth.
And it's funny, there's another connection. Ripper Owens sings along with the other singer on one of the tracks on the Seventh Servant album as well.
Oh, nice.
So you never know, Ripper Owens might be proclaiming Jesus pretty soon too.
That would be so. You people out there, and I say you people, this may not interest you at all what we're talking about, and that's perfectly fine. But I just think it's fascinating. And one of the things, I mean, I've been following this stuff on and off since the 80s, okay? And I remember because I was very huge. I was studying to be a minister in 85, 86, okay? So back then, all right, U2 was still Christian. Half of Kansas was Christian. That one surprised, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
But Vinyl Confessions and Drastic Measures, decent Kansas records, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. And then of course John Elefante would go out to do his thing. I don't know if you got this record or you know what I'm talking about, but you know what I used to play on my radio show back in Chicago once in a while? And I had people call in and go, "What was that you just played?" And I go, "Oh, well, oh, yes, 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 you got it on vinyl,
The
huh?
new
I
Van
got it on
Zandt.
CD. I
That's
haven't
the
had
new
a
Van
chance to
Zandt.
listen to it, but I want
That,
to.
if you like Southern rock, whether you're a Christian or not, whether you like if you like Southern rock, that's a fantastic record.
Johnny and Donnie, ladies and gentlemen, on that Van Zandt record, doing a whole rock gospel album. That is cool. Jesus Christ is the single. I'm not kidding. That's what it's called. And it's a great song. But so I get these calls when I would play this song, and they'd be like, "Well, who is this you're playing?" And I'd go, "Mastodon."
Oh, them.
It's a jungle out there was the song, because you got John Elefante, Dave Amato, who was in Nugent, and then of course since 1989 he's been with REO Speedwagon, now Kevin Cronin Band. I've got that album too.
The Vision, yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of
Never heard of that, man.
which guy is
Billy Powell from
Billy
Skinner.
Powell. Okay, that's it. Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard this, but so when that album came out, okay, and I think that came out in 84, if I remember right. 85, okay, my bad. So shortly thereafter, like in 86, if I remember right, Mark Farner also became a born again Christian. All right, although that it took a little while for it to seed in there, but for like a whole year. So just imagine going to a bar, and because this is where it was pretty much, was the back to the bars and the small theaters tour. Mm-hmm. So it was Mark Farner and his band and Vision would open up for Farner. Okay. And then they would get together at the end of the night and have one big jam session. So that's how you get Billy Powell from Skinner and Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad on a stage.
Nice.
Yes. Here comes the jazz records. Well, we already did that. Yeah, I've played it on my show on Facebook.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt. What kind of music is Vision? Religious or pop or rock?
They're kind of Southern rock. Kind of
Southern rock.
Of somewhat in the vein of Skinner, maybe a little more poppy.
Okay, gotcha. I really never heard of that band.
Weren't they a Florida band too? I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh.
Born Again,
38 Special, and
naturally, there were so many great bands came out of Florida and Georgia. My God, just seriously. So let's see here. I know that this has been brought up in other channels, especially one that really doesn't care for me, but that's okay. One other one that was on their RSD list for me was Dada's Puzzle album.
Joey Callio.
Joey, yeah. I've got him on. Friends with him on Facebook. Although I would love to have him on. I mean, I know he hasn't done anything like this in a while, but still.
Yeah.
I'm a big Doctor Who fan, old school. No, not. I've watched some of the newer episodes, but Tom Baker's my favorite. Fourth Doctor, my favorite, and so basically the 10th Planet is the name of the RSD release. George Harrison, they did a 12-inch single of Be Here Now, which was off of Living in the Material World. Yeah. How I overlooked that song is beyond me. It is a beautiful, just a beautiful ballad. And then another one that I thought was kind of funny. Oh boy, here comes the video. It was a soundtrack that I didn't even know that they were going to go off and release. And it cracked me up considering I just saw this movie again last week with a dear friend of mine. Top Secret. If you remember that movie with Val Kilmer from '84.
Would you believe I've never seen that movie?
That spoof movie, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I know of it. There was a short-lived TV show is based on or something.
And skeet shooting, skeet surfing.
Chocolate mousse, I shall never forget you. Or whatever that
whole movie.
Oh, Deja Vu. It was Deja Vu. I shall never forget you.
Oh God, that movie I was just laughing at the same parts I probably laughed at back in '84. Like, oh my God, this
Oh
is still
yeah.
funny. It's still, but as soon as I knew because I would sing it once in a while. It'd come into my brain, Skeet Surfing USA, and I'd be like, how the heck did this get my brain now? I haven't watched this thing in years. That's right, First Wave. See, I love how they like took Beach Boys, Hondells, Jan and Dean, and mushed it all together.
Beach Boys, yeah.
You know, that probably was the official song of the official Skeet Surfing Association. Oh my God. This is like, yeah, see, I'm really kind of surprised he hasn't showed up. I really kind of thought he would, but he didn't do it. What's he going for?
Oh, Masons. I at first I misread that as Mansons. I'm like, are Manson family? Because he had a thing with the Beach Boys too. So
That's right. Yes, Dennis Wilson.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to show Ron. Hey, Ron, did you finally find this album?
I did. That was
Cool.
the first thing I ordered this year. That was
That's
the first
cool,
thing
yeah.
I got, the reissue. What
The
color is your
second
vinyl?
winger.
Did you find an OG?
Yeah. What'd you say, Ron?
Is that an OG or did you get the reissue?
No, it's a 1990. It's a record. It's a record, BMG Record Club version. But
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, not that it's any of my business, how much did you get that for? Because you're talking 1990. Atlantic Records was like one of the last ones to cut vinyl until like almost 91.
Yeah. I found this at an antique store in this county. Maybe I can't. It wasn't very much. $5 or something.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I can see some waves. It looks like it's got some water damage on the cover, maybe.
Well, yeah, but the album side is excellent.
Yeah.
I Want to Be a Lifeguard. That's funny from Mr. Blotto.
Oh yeah, that looks great. Yeah.
Definitely. I got to tell you, there's an album. Speaking of an antique mall, and I know he overpriced this thing, but I have to tell you, it's the first time I ever saw a copy. Ace Frehley's "Trouble Walking" on vinyl from '89.
I need that. I've been looking for that.
Yeah, well, you and me and everybody else. But dang it! I thought you were. She's only 17, heading for a heartbreak.
It's funny because that's by far the worst song they've ever done. Is that stupid 17 song?
I know. Yes.
Everything else is fantastic.
It's so cringy. It's so cringy, that song.
I like the neat artwork.
Yeah. If you look on the bottom, it says Sahara in those lines.
Oh yeah, it does. I read about that.
It was originally supposed to be called Sahara. That was the name of the band.
I didn't know that back then.
Alice Cooper convinced them to name it Winger.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I read about that on Wikipedia a little bit. I didn't know about it at the time. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
But so the Ace Frehley, he wants $45, and the condition of it is actually really decent. But I'm like, I looked on Discogs, and I'm going, even though that thing is tough to find on vinyl, I'm like, there's people that are selling them for like in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, well, if I'm going to buy this thing, no offense, I'd rather but he also had a copy of Ted Nugent's If You Can't Lick 'Em, Lick 'Em, which I'm like, really hard to find on vinyl also. But I'm like, where did this dude get these two from? And that one unfortunately had some damage to it, but he wanted like $20 for that one, because if it wasn't damaged, I probably would have pulled the trigger and got that one, because you just don't see that on vinyl.
Yeah, I got mine fairly cheap, and it was the only time I ever saw it in the wild. So
wow.
Believe it or not, that's one of my favorite Nugent albums.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever heard that. I might have had it on cassette at one point or another, or I don't remember. I've listened to so much music, I can't remember anymore. But I mean, the other one that I remember from '90 that's kind of hard, "Slave to the Grind" for Skid Row. That's not that easy to find that on vinyl.
I read "Slave to the Grind" was only released as a record club version back in 1991.
Originally, it's part of the box set now. Like, I got the Skid Row box set, the Atlantic years.
More recent, that's good.
And copies of Slave to the Grind were going for as much as the box set itself.
Jeez.
So I just bought the box set and gave away
Yeah.
my extra copy of the first album that I already had. So,
See, that makes sense.
yeah.
And then I'm trying to think that goes all the way to Subhuman Race, right?
There's an EP, a live EP that comes after Subhuman Race, but it's like a little short 5-song EP. I also have I have Slave to the Grind on CD.
That's
the reason I got this,
Yes,
even though I already have the record, is it's a different version. It's got Beggar's Day on it instead of Get the F Out.
Oh,
so
I'll have to look at my copy.
I actually prefer the song Beggar's Day. I just think it's a better song. So I got the CD because the record doesn't have it.
Huh. See, I didn't know that. I'm going to have to look at my copy, wherever the heck it's at in all of this mess.
Yeah, they had to reissue it. They had to reissue it with a replacement song for that. So.
Oh, well, yeah, when you got Get the F Out, you know.
Yeah.
See, anytime I ever think of that, though, I think of Extreme. Get the Funk Out, which from Porno Graffiti, which I'm like, I love that song. I'm like, and that's another one too, because isn't Gary Sharon also kind of sort of born again too? I thought I heard stories.
I haven't heard that, but I'll have to look. I'll have to research it.
Yeah.
I have the first 3 and the newest one. The newest one is
how is that one?
It's good to a point. But like once you get deeper into the album, it kind of falls off the wagon. So yeah. But the third Extreme is my favorite one of all of them. 3 sides to every story.
Oh yeah. I think I don't know if I have all 3 of those Extremes. I know I have 3 sides, and I know I've got Pornography Graffiti somewhere. What was the name of the other one?
The first one was just self-titled.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one. I'll have to dig that out. You never know what Wyoming Dave is going to come up with. Look
at Chris Hill's comment. Beggar's Day from Nazareth. That's my favorite song on that record. That's a great song.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's a great deep track on that album. That's fantastic.
I just wanted to show you some different. I've had these for a while. Ted Nugent's first album.
Oh, sure.
There you go.
Stupid Ringwear, but it's a second pressing Epic label, but still plays good.
Okay, yeah. I've never seen that record without Ringwear on the cover.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is a banger, Cat Scratch Fever.
Oh yeah.
But I think the follow-up is even better. Weekend Warriors.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about Free For All.
Free For All is good.
Yep. Meatloaf's on half that.
1 or 2 tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent was a great hard rock artist, I think.
Yeah. Weekend Warriors has to be one of my favorite album covers of all time.
Oh yeah.
Shotgun guitar that he's like awesome.
I'm telling you.
Found the live album.
Double Live, yeah.
Sure.
Someone VCLT'd me a reissue of that. So it's a beautiful copy.
There's a weird cover.
Nice.
Scream Dream.
Oh, Scream Dream, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's when he started, unfortunately, going downhill a little bit. Was that one?
I'm missing the 2 other albums he did from late 70s. Weekend Warriors and another one.
Yeah, you need Weekend Warriors. That's top notch.
Because
I actually no one ever talks about it, but I actually like the one that's just called Nugent. It's got Carmine Appice on drums. It's from like 82.
Yep.
It's a little bit 80s sounding, but it's a fantastic album, and no one ever talks about it.
He switched record labels to Atlantic Records. I know that.
Right.
Yeah.
I had I don't have that Nugent record. I ended up finding a copy of Penetrator though with Brian Howe, and that's how he would go to Bad Company. Yeah, after that. I do love the song Dog Eat Dog. I think that's a really good one. Whiskey Drinking Woman, I'm trying to remember. I had that Hair of the Dog album, but it's not coming into my noggin right now.
I haven't spun that in years.
Yeah, I mean, I love Nazareth.
Yeah.
But Dog Eat Dog.
I like the
Dude,
song "Please Don't Judas Me" off of Hair of the Dog.
Yeah.
Long one.
Of course, everybody talks about the son of a bitch song, but I'm like,
No,
there's
you-
more to Nazareth than that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Guns N' Roses actually does a fairly decent cover of that song.
I am looking for that Spaghetti Incident CD
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's
That's
going to
one
be
of
a jukebox from hell is
the
what's
hard
going to
part.
happen.
That was what you put out on vinyl back in '93. Spaghetti Incident too.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
did.
U.S. pressing. I'm talking about too.
Mhm.
Tower Records. I went in their basement. They used to have, oh man, the things. We're talking like mid '90s. The things they had in their basement, and I mean,
Brandy.
it was a 3-floor place. Dave, where'd you get your wife beater T-shirts? At the wife beater T-shirt outlet store. That's where.
Hey, it's got warm here today. So
in Walla Walla. Yeah, and back to the
Yeah.
beard thing. Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. It got warm, and I'm like, screw it. I'm not going to
Oh,
start
yeah.
growing it out again until August, so that by the time in December I can be Santy.
Yeah.
Santy.
Well, I'm in Florida and I still got I still
Cubs, baby. They smushed the Dodgers 16-0.
Oh my
I
goodness.
love it. It was the worst. It was like in Dodger history, or at least over in
Wow.
LA Dodger history, was the worst home lopsided game. And I'm like, yes,
Wow.
my Cubs, baby.
I'm a Rays fan. I don't even know what they're doing right now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Dave, he lives in Wyoming, so the closest thing he could get would be Colorado Rockies.
Ah.
You a Rockies fan, Dave?
I don't follow sports at all. So
That's sad, Dave. I used to be really good at following sports, but you know what? COVID kind of killed it for me, to tell you the
Yeah.
honest truth.
Yeah.
I just have a passing fancy with it, but it is what it is. The Rockies are bad.
Rockies
Damon
bad.
Berryhill says, former catcher of the Chicago Cubs. He says Rocky's bad. Oh man. You guys talk amongst yourselves a minute. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get some more Joe.
All righty.
Keep them entertained.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I was showing you those Montrose albums.
well, I got both of. I got just the first two with Sammy Hagar myself. I haven't found the ones without Sammy. The second,
Right.
third
Yeah.
one.
Those are pretty good. They're not quite the quality, but if you find those Gamma albums, the first three,
I know-
especially the first
A
two,
long time ago back in McCook, I did come across some used Gamma albums. I never just snatched them up.
oh
back
yeah,
in
yeah,
1990.
definitely pull the trigger if you see those again, because those are
Oh,
quite good.
what's his face? PB Thal Patrick said the three Gamma albums are different than the other two or something. They sound different. I know he said.
Yeah, they're a little bit different. They're still hard rock, but they're a little bit different than the Montrose stuff.
Yeah.
The only record store day vinyl I wanted was the Yes Live 1972. James Farley says. Huh. See Gamma albums a lot. Never listen to them. They're pretty good. If you like Montrose, you should dig those Gamma albums.
Hey, Ron, did you go out to Record Store Day or no? You passed.
I didn't. I actually worked 2 to 10.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know it was Record Store Day until I came home from work and started seeing all the videos on YouTube. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I think I've only ever been to 1 or 2 Record Store Days.
We actually had a store. We actually had a store. We had a small independent store that Riverton that did Record Store Day 3 years in a row. They closed up, and that was it for.
I've gotten Record Store Day albums after the fact, like a week after. Like,
yeah,
I picked up the Overkill Electric Age back in.
They're a heavy metal band, right?
Back in 2019 with the electric green vinyl. There. So
oh, cool.
So that's that's like my only Record Store Day.
Are they a real hardcore heavy metal band? I don't know their music.
Overkill's thrash metal, yeah.
Oh, thrash, yeah, okay.
Thrash, yeah. They're one of my favorites. So, but they've always had Overkill's always got the green theme going on their albums. So. Oh. Shoot, I don't know what else.
Yeah, this is one of the best hard rock albums, BAD albums, I think, Montrose.
Yeah, that's 74, right?
Well, technically, it might have 73 on the back, but it reaches.
Oh, yeah.
It hits the Billboard charts till 74, the album chart. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
want to be technical. Yeah, it's a Palm Trees Warner Brothers label. Yeah.
Well, Paul's back. Stop talking about him.
No. Wait a minute. What's on Warner there? I'm sorry, guys.
He's got the rainbow label on the.
Oh, it's Montrose's first album.
Oh, it's the Palm Tree. That's right.
Oh, nice.
I learned from being around Patrick. I look at the mastering engineers once in a while in the Dead Wax.
Oh, yes, Live in 72 would have been fun. You know, Damon, you're right. I've seen a couple Gamma albums too, and I've never listened to them. I don't know how good or bad they are.
Oh, I do.
Paul, I bet you have this one, don't you?
Yes, I don't. I have that one, but I don't have the second one.
I have Paper Money too.
She's Rock Candy, baby. One of the best stripper songs. Rock Candy, baby. Hot, sweet, and sticky. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Jenny.
He's going in his secret record lair in the basement. Exit, stage left. What's he going to find next, ladies and gentlemen? Only he knows. Oh my God, this is
Black
funny.
Hole Sun.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mentioned what was a top 20 very uncomfortable songs to strip to, and one of them was Nights in White Satin, where it's the talking part. I'm going, oh my God, that's
yeah.
Hello, Jenny and Dave.
Yeah, I got this on, Paul.
Oh, there you go.
Too. Yeah.
And for the life of me, I couldn't even tell you what the main song from Paper Money would have been.
There were still singles, but
did anybody see the Kraftwerk performance from Coachella the other day? You got me on that one, James. You got me on that one. So see, Wyoming Dave's got Paper Money.
Well, I think the best tracks, Sammy Hagar doesn't sing on every single track, but the best ones are with him singing on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that one was half good, half.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
I've never really paid attention to it.
It's too bad. It seems like, what was it? I read an article on Ronnie Montrose, okay, because he originally got started with
I'll show you this one.
Edgar Winter Group, if I remember correctly.
I'll show you Chickenfoot.
Oh, Chickenfoot. There you go.
Yeah.
It's not Chickenfoot. It's not heavy metal, more hard rock. Yeah.
Hey, so Satan, which starship did you get?
This one has a unique. If it gets below a certain temperature, certain things will appear on the cover of this album.
Oh, okay. So a thermal cover.
It's a thermal cover, yeah.
Hi, Will. That's what James says to Satan here.
You can tell by this even this sleeve does weird things. Gets cold or hot or something.
I always thought they were a damn good band, Chickenfoot.
I haven't heard them since they came out. I heard their first album, and then I haven't heard anything since.
Chickenfoot did 2 albums. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
See, the thing that I kind of hate about Sammy is why he fired Jason. Jason was only going to be gone for a little bit, and it had to do, I think, with the birth of his kid or something. I'm like, cut some slack. He doesn't know when the birth of the kid's going to happen, for God's sakes. But you fired him anyway and got Kenny Aronoff. And I'm just like, I mean, I have nothing against Kenny Aronoff, but I'm just like, what the heck? I wear thermal underwear. Well, did you ever have a hypercolor T-shirt? I always thought those were cool.
Yep, I had one in high school. Yeah, I had one of those in high school. Yeah. Put your hands on the shirt, and then
Psycho's going to admit something. Oh my God, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I'm going to tell you, there's 25 people in this room. I used to wear button fly Levi's. Look, it was late 80s. It was late 80s. What can I say? There. I've revealed a fashion sin. Huh?
Yeah.
Button fly Levi's. Oh my God. What? What about Christina Ricci doing a pole dance to a King Crimson side of her Sub Buffalo 66? So that's
Oh.
gotta be funny.
I've never seen that movie, actually.
It's gotta be funny. Wasn't Buckethead and Chickenfoot for 5 minutes? Maybe. Now, what is it? Buckethead and Bootsy Collins are working on a new project. So coming out maybe next year.
Buckethead's he's been everywhere, hasn't he?
I've heard of Buckethead.
Only $45 at Amazon for the box set for Forever for Unlawful. Wow, that's a steal.
Cotton Britches winner.
Randy, Cotton Britches winter should be happening soon. I don't know how those ball players of the 1900s to like the 1940s, they're wool uniforms. It's like wool uniforms in the hot sun. If you didn't sweat off, how come Babe Ruth didn't sweat off 20 pounds a game in wool uniforms?
That's because he ate 45 candy bars a day.
And lots of hot dogs and lots of beer. But you know what? That's what made Babe.
Yeah.
Let Paul grab you one. Okay.
If I had money, I gladly would, because that's a good steal of a deal.
Yeah.
I'll speaking of box sets though, I'm a little nervous now. And I'll shout out Tony's LPs Are Us.
Oh yeah, I know.
Very, very great channel, and also Parlogram, which is another good Beatle-related channel, because both of them, within about a day of each other, talked about this topic, that between now and the end of the year, the Beatles anthology vinyl box set, 10 LPs, because back in the 90s, which these were hard to get to begin with, each volume was 3 LPs on vinyl. So what's the 10th disc? Don't know. It's going to be full of surprise. But 10 albums, and I was talking to my friend Scott from up in Illinois, trying to figure out the guess as to how much that thing's going to cost. And I'm thinking $300. That's my. And am I going to pay $300? Absolutely not. I'm not paying $300. I might if it goes to half that. Right. Hey, Paul, Dave, Ron, everybody! I Can Feel the Fire was a great song from the second mantra. I'm gonna have to listen to that. Iron Maiden did a cover of it.
Iron Maiden also did a cover of Space Station Number 5. I believe it was a B-side of one of the singles from.
Oh, really?
I love that song. That's another one. That's another one that doesn't get much, because everybody talks about Rock Candy and Bad Motor Scooter, but everybody forgets about Space Station.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, well, see, it's not meant to be, I guess. Why look, it's Rob Benjamin music. That's a new one for me. Good to see you here. There's a Best of Montrose thing that's well worth the money, but I can't remember the year it came out. But it had a big fly or bee on the cover, I think. Yeah, and like I said, patient. Like Guns N' Roses, we gotta have a little patience. Yeah, especially with Amazon. Sold off all our Beatle wax. Oh my, just seems too easy to listen to them in any kind of.
Reminded me of this cover that's got the Warner Brothers cover.
I like that album cover.
That's a neat cover, yeah. Like a old monster movie or something on the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Montrose versus Godzilla.
Godzilla. That's like a Godzilla with bat wings kind of thing going on.
Oh man, there's a character in Land Before Time you never saw. That's right. Yeah. The dinosaur with the bat wings.
That's right.
Roar. That was horrible, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know why I did that. I still don't know why I still had. There we go. I'm like, I don't know why I got. Oh, you came from the secret room. All right, the secret room. What did you get now?
These aren't originals. These are 2022 represses. Use Your Illusion one.
You know, I should get those really. I've got an OG Appetite and an OG Lies.
The OG of these albums from 1991. Yeah.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
20, another 22. I got both these from Walmart, of course.
And here's the thing. I went to the midnight thing for Use Your Illusion at Best Buy.
Oh, really?
I know Best Buy, at least ours did in Crystal Lake, had the vinyl, but the vinyl was like nobody was buying it. There was only a couple copies, and it was expensive compared to the CDs. He's gonna be right back after these messages. We'll be right back. This was the late 90s or after. Oh, okay, for the 90s Montrose comp. I see what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, speaking of Buckethead, I didn't even plan on that. You know, if you got a chance to go see Buckethead,
Oh, yeah.
go do it. Go do it. I'm telling you, you will not be sorry. That's right, cartoon commercial bumpers. I'm a nerd. I can't see myself camping out in an elevator for over an hour to listen to the White Album. Well, I can understand that. Yep, Buckethead was in GNR. He is on Chinese Democracy, but what tracks? Lord knows. There's 4 guitarists on that album.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Speaking of really weird photograph, and if I could pull it up, I'd show it to you. There was a concert at the Rainbow Bar and Grill over, in LA this past week. And the lineup was kind of strange, I will admit. Your main people were Michael Monroe, of course, from Hanoi Rocks.
Hanoi Rocks, I've heard of
He
that.
was there. But so was Black Oak, Arkansas with Jim Dandy. Yeah. And that was your top 2. But there's a Oh, hi, Toby. Come up here.
Your cat, yeah.
Toby. The gratuitous Toby appearance.
Ah.
Ooh,
That's like a tabby cat, kind of, isn't it?
It is a tabby cat. Toby, we love you. What did you have? I see you licking your lips.
He wants loose already.
All right, go. Only when you're in heat will you just hang there for a while. Weirdo. Jeez. So the picture though, so you got Jim Dandy, Michael Monroe, some dude that was in New York Dolls. I want to say Steve Conti. I don't know if I'm right on that.
I remember the other 3 members.
He's probably got to be a ladder member. And Slash, all in one photo. I'm going.
Huh.
What the heck? I'm like, I didn't know Slash was there that night, but yes. It's called The Very Best of Montrose, year 2000. 7:16 p.m. Yes, he's super shy and private dude, I guess. The kitty. GNR lost me after. Yeah, you know what? Izzy, I think, was the glue. Izzy was the soul of Guns N' Roses. Okay, and
I never saw that. Yeah.
He just couldn't take it anymore. He was trying to be sober. I think it was. I can't remember which came out first. I think it was Use Your Illusion, then the Choo-Choo Hounds, right? Which that's a good record. Izzy Stratton and the Choo-Choo Hounds.
I haven't heard it, but now I do. Now I want to hear it.
Yeah. See. Speaking of it, it's called Choo-Choo Hound. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard it in a long time. I'll tell you another thing that sounds quite interesting. And I feel bad because I wasn't 100% prepared after talking about it right now. But hopefully maybe next nighttime episode, we'll play something from this gentleman's solo album, his only solo album he's done. But parts of Rat have reunited.
Oh,
so
really?
we have Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini. Okay, so that's what they're calling it basically, is Pearcy DeMartini. Oh, here he goes. He's going to go get the Rat albums.
This one.
Invasion of Your Privacy. Isn't she something? She's
Yeah.
so cute. Oh, she's so cute. That Izzy album is
All right.
fire.
This is Lay It Down and You're in Love on it, of course.
All right.
Has Rat ever really made a suck record? I really honestly don't think so. One?
There's one. There is
Oh,
one.
What's the one?
It's a self-titled one that came out in
I see you're
1999.
holding it with rats on the leg.
It sounds nothing like Rat.
I never heard-
Oh, you know what though? If I remember correctly,
I've heard
there
that.
you, I need to get that. I don't have that.
I don't either. I don't either.
GEP on Time Coast.
That's the original. It's on Time Coast. Yes.
Tiny Katane on
The classic out of the cellar.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
definitely. Yes, got that. And Invasion.
I'm Insane is a great a great song. There's your Invasion right there.
Yeah.
This one is highly underrated.
Dancing
Undercover. I love that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
This was my introduction to Rat.
Reach for the Sky.
Reach for the Sky. Yeah.
Love it.
Way
Yes.
Cool Jr. That bluesy track. So good.
Okay,
I know, right?
Detonator album too.
And then Detonator.
Yes. Yes.
John Bon Jovi sings on "Loving You's the Dirty Job." Or no,
I didn't know
Heads I
Bon
Win,
Jovi.
Tails You Lose. That's
I didn't know he was on that either. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Well, jeez, damn it.
See, when
That no talent hack.
when you start doing the guest spots, that's how you know it's kind of starting to go downhill. And Rat would disband after that.
So here's what it is. So it's Piercy, DeMartini, Carlos Cavazo is back with them.
Right.
Okay, because he's the one that pretty much took over after Robin Crosby died, really.
Right.
And then, oh God, an original from Mickey Rat, the bass players from Mickey Rat. So we're talking a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
81.
and the drummer is Blas Elias from Slaughter. I mean, to me, that's a killer lineup right there.
Yeah.
No one really cares for Juan with his duck dance too much, and Blatz is like 80s. Yeah, no kidding. I think he's been shut. And I think Juan's going out like as the Juan Croucher Rat experience. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't stand when there's there was two versions of LA Guns at one point, and there was two versions of Saxon in the mid 90s. And come on.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely with the Saxon, you would know that. That's for sure.
Yeah. I got my Saxon bin right in front of me right here. With my 31 Saxon records.
Okay, fine. Pull a Saxon album. Just don't look. Pull an album.
Pull a random Saxon album.
Yep. Whack a Saxon.
Oh, yeah. That's early 2000s. The Inner Sanctum. That's a fantastic power metal album right there.
Nice.
Let's see what. Let Me Feel Your Power. They still play that song to this day.
Crosby, yeah.
I've Got a Rock to Stay Alive. They still play that song to this day. Attila the Hun, the closing track, that 8-minute epic closing track. Oh, fantastic. 2007, this album came out.
Nice.
They had just like a string of these perfect power metal albums in the early 2000s. They just couldn't be stopped. So fantastic.
I'm telling you. It's good old Saxon. More known than Denim and Leather, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to show someone VLC meet this Living Color top.
Oh yeah, Time's Up.
Ooh.
Yeah,
1990
second album.
That is not an easy one to get either.
This is original.
It's a reissue.
But the original is not that easy to find.
This is original 1990 album.
Is it?
Yeah, seriously. I looked it up on Discogs and everything.
My copy is green translucent vinyl.
This is greenish yellow, kind of.
Yeah.
And
Mine's got the Biscuits EP after as the second disc.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I got the third one on CD. I was looking for it on vinyl, and it's tough to find on vinyl. Where the frick is it?
What Vinyl Piper VLC?
What are we talking about? Living Color.
Yeah. With, of course, CM Punk's theme.
Stained. That's their third album.
That's the third. Yeah, I've heard of that.
This is absolutely their heaviest album too. It's more of a groove metal, They had Pantera influence on this one for
Oh
sure.
wow, I'm gonna have to check that out. Glad to have seen Saxon 3 times, 86, 13, and 15.
Nice.
I
saw them
think the
for the
original
first time last year, and that's how they became my favorite band.
nice. I think the original Stain album is out of print.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I haven't come
Wow.
across a reissue or anything yet. So
I'm telling you, so much good music to discover and explore.
yeah.
I like other stuff besides jazz music. I like pop and rock.
Oh yeah.
We all like all kinds of different. That's what this show is about. It's not stuck to one little thing.
Yeah.
Stain is on constant rotation at my work. Well, that's good, Satan, because I mean,
Nice.
when you're down there, you got to be able to hear some good music.
Yeah.
Hey, Penny Lane in my ears, in my eyes. I saw. Oh yeah, that's right. Living Color was with Extreme last year in the tour. I remember hearing about that.
Funk metal kind of thing going on. I can see that.
I have a thing on disc that is LA Gun demos, and I believe people from GNR are on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Because what is it? I've got somewhere in my CD boxes. I've got the demos for Hollywood Rose.
Hollywood Rose. Yep.
Yes.
Really.
And the thing is, though, that CD, I think it was Cleopatra or Deadline Records was the one that put it out, and I thought they were milking it. They were really milking it. Like they got Fred Corey from Cinderella to produce. I'm like going,
wow.
What are you doing here, people? It's the same 5 tracks. Yeah, you're stretching this out way too much.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I know somebody asked me in the private chat about an eye update. So it's 90%. It's 90% good. I have one small dot at the bottom of my eye. And so in other words, it's almost gone. I'd say maybe by next week, I won't even need these anymore.
There you go.
I don't even really need them now, to tell you the honest truth, but I'm just so used to wearing them. Now we wish we had, no kidding. I would love, I wish CMC International Sanctuary and even Spitfire Records were all existed. Yeah, all we have is Frontiers.
They had all in the 90s, the late 90s, they had Overkill and Motorhead and those hair metal bands that were getting heavier in the LA Guns, like they did that American hardcore album and it sounded nothing like 80s LA Guns. It was a hardcore album. Like they titled that right because that was a hardcore album.
Yes, even Chris agrees. It was the same songs over and over. It's like, they should have just made it an EP and left it alone. That's all there is to it. They don't need to add. That Hollywood Rose thing. But so let's see. What else?
That's right. Warrant did a couple albums on CMC as well.
Yes. Oh, so what I was getting at, thank you for bringing all that stuff up. But with DeMartini, he put out a solo album in Japan only in the 90s. And I'm going, I love the whole thing. I'm like, why did this not get put in the States? And so I think hopefully my next show I'll play like the best thing off of that. But yeah, Warrant, Warrant's another one. Poor Janny Lane. And of course, now that the news about, there's a couple different suspects in regards to what happened to Janny. I can't really talk about exactly on here, but
I don't remember exactly.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Maybe we'll talk privately after chat about this, because I really can't say this on here, because with my luck, they'll get me for that too. Yeah, Warrant did 4 to 5 albums on CFC. It's like what heritage 70s 80s band did not have an album on CMC in the 90s? I mean, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I was so excited when they finally reissued Dog on vinyl.
That's funny. He's already knows where I'm going on this. So fine. I'll at least can say this is alleged. The manager of Judas Priest and Rob Halford. Alleged, possibly. And I'm like, that kind of has, if that's true, that's turned me off on definitely some things. Referring to Janny, yes, yeah. let's see, what was it? I have a warrant story because, okay, so in Rockford, because they played the Metro Center. This was like late 80s, early 90s story. And there was a strip club, which unfortunately now got demolished when I went up to Illinois last time in 2020, called State Street Station. It was on State Street in Rockford. And so I guess the band showed up there afterwards to go to the strip club and have some drinks and a few other things. And Janny ends up in the ladies' room with like 6 to 8 different people in the bathroom, and they're all over the place, and it got so wild, I guess. And then there was a fight that broke out in the ladies' bathroom, but it wasn't the ladies that were fighting in the ladies' bathroom. I'm like, oh my god,
Wow.
And
Danny
then
Lane hooked up with someone's girl, and
yes, and then we were talking about that earlier, Chris. Sad, very sad.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is until Judas Priest got Scott Travis on is that what his name is?
Yeah,
On
it's
drums,
another good one.
They were always limited, like their drummers were always limited in their capabilities until they got Scott Travis, for Painkiller later on down in the road. So
And those fight records too.
the fight was amazing. Yeah,
I think they only did what, 2 or 3 albums? I only got one. Two. Okay.
And it's funny because I always made the joke that War of Words is the only perfect Judas Priest album.
See, now that's kick-ass that you saw Stones at the Metro Center. Now, was that the 81 show? And is that the show that had Prince open for him? I could be wrong on that, Scott. I don't know. But how about this, though? Since I have you up here, let me ask a question. So I did a Jukebox from Hell episode a couple seasons ago. What do you feel about the group 2?
I've never actually listened to it. I avoided it like the plague. And I still, 20 some odd years down the road, I still haven't listened to it.
I don't know that one.
That is Rob
That's
Halford.
Rob Halford with the guy from 9 Inch Nails.
Trent Reznor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's very industrial metal.
That's what Trent's known for,
Yeah.
That's kind of why I did it too. But
and you would think, because I've been into industrial since the 80s, when I first discovered Killing Joke. So you would think I would have hopped on that, but since it was Rob Halford,
and 9 Inch ones,
I was like,
that's a CD,
yeah.
That's got that infamous song.
Yep. No opener.
I will look into it because when you listen to side bands, side projects, you got to kind of listen to it with an open mind. Like, don't expect it to sound like the guy's original band. So
right.
So, yeah.
There is a little sleeper solo. Okay, side project. If you people, I don't know how you're going to get it because I don't know if it got reissued. Glenn Tipton's Baptism of Fire.
Yeah.
Go try to find that CD. I know it was on CD, guys.
Yeah.
But try to find it. And even John Entwistle shows up on a track or two.
Oh,
I am like, what?
Yeah.
So who meets Judas Priest in a way?
Yeah. Yeah, I got to track that down on CD for sure. For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we did pretty good here. We got it almost in an hour and 40 minutes, and I really like having you guys on here. Tuesdays, I'm going to try to shoot for Tuesdays, or around the time frame I do here. I know Tuesdays is very popular with some of the other shows, but I can't win no matter what day I try putting it on anyway.
My show rotates between Sunday and Monday, depending on when Tim is off. So I try to get George and Tim, the three of us, That spell out
Why
GTR.
don't you talk about that show briefly for a minute here?
All right, so I've got my show GTR Rock Realm with George from George G's Room of Rock, who we became friends last year, and my friend Tim, Record Man 1979. Him and I have been friends off of YouTube, like all throughout the Facebook days for the last 16 years.
Oh.
So we got this show together, the three of us. We come up with different subjects to talk about, and it used to be like I would record it and then I'd upload it, but the last couple shows have been live. So if you guys want to go, and I try to post a little bit earlier in the day. So, but it rotates between Sunday night and Monday night, and it's always at 7:00.
Nice. So go sub there and stay tuned on that. Rob brought up a great, interesting point. I found out about this afternoon. Judas Priest, Alice Cooper with Corrosion of Conformity announced a tour today. And guess what? Not coming anywhere near me. And that's depressing.
I got to look that up.
Texas so far is the closest. And that's like right in the middle of Texas, like Midland, Texas.
Yeah.
And I think Dallas, Fort Worth. But I'm like, oh, I want to see that.
I've seen all three bands. I saw Priest back in '98 on this tour, the Live Meltdown Tour '98.
Cool.
Now,
Cool.
when Jugulator first came out,
Yeah.
they still had Ripper Owens on this one.
Mhm.
So I saw them. I saw Corrosion of Conformity back in 2019, and I just saw Alice Cooper for the first time this year. So.
See, I'm telling you, Alice. Yeah, last year saw him with Ministry and Rob Zombie. Oh, that show was great.
Oh, that's Rob Zombie. Cool. That's Rob Zombie. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I saw Eric Cooper with Alice Cooper, and he was better than Kiss. You know what, Rob? He's in a way he's right, because I saw him. He was drumming, and I didn't know he was going to be the drummer, but I guess Kiss took a break or something at the time. This was like 2004, Dirty Diamonds tour. He was drumming on the Dirty Diamonds tour, and I got to shoot the breeze with him. And I also have a pick that Eric gave me, and I said, a pick? And he goes, well, Paul, it'd be very expensive to dole out drumsticks. Point taken. He lit his sticks on fire. See, we didn't get that, dang it, but that would have been cool.
That Dirty Diamonds album that's like an underrated album in his catalog. It was quietly released. Not many people know about it, but it was such a good album.
So here's the thing. I always buy stuff from the merch. I always do. Okay. Even if I don't have a lot of money, I'll at least get like the cheapest thing I can find just so that I contribute. And so for that concert, Alice Cooper was opening for, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. It was, okay. I'm sorry. I'm screwing this up here. Silver Tide was the opener, and Drive-By Truckers was the middle act, and Alice Cooper. Okay. So I only bought something from Alice, but I got the Dirty Diamonds CD autographed by Alice, $20.
Nice.
And so that's my only Alice autograph is what I've got is for Dirty Diamonds. And so, like I said, we met the band beforehand. Alice came separately in an Econoline van of all things. Like, we got to wave really quick, and that was about it for Alice. And then after the band was done, they had to come back out the way they came in, and that's how I was able to get everybody to sign the CD. So I got Eric and Chuck and Carrie and everybody else, so to be on that. But yeah, Brutal Planet, that's another one. Oh man,
I agree with Rob there. Yeah, that's a top 2 Alice Cooper album for me, right after Raise Your Fist and Yell.
To me, that was like his third wind, I said, because that man has been very blessed in being able to keep making quality albums. And, I'm really glad that he's got, on almost every album, the last couple albums, that he's brought back the original Alice Cooper group for at least 2 or 3 tracks. I'm like, that's great, just that he's still at least friends with them now, Kip Winger.
Kip Winger,
on bass. Right. Kane Roberts, who a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, subbed for, Anita left. Nita Strauss left.
Oh, okay, that's right. I heard about that.
Yeah. And Kane did part of the tour, and then I guess Aranti, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, did some of the tour, and now I heard Nita's back with Alice again, so I give up.
I have Kane Roberts' solo record.
Wrong one. Sorry. Let me see that. Okay.
That's his solo record from right around the time of Raise Your Fist In. Yeah, look at this. Look at these guys. That beefcake right there. Yeah. And that beefcake right there.
Too funny.
And then this scrawny guy that looks like me down here. But there's killer tracks on here. It's like Raise Your Fist and Yell without Alice Cooper singing, basically.
Too funny.
Check out the song Out for Blood. That's a fantastic song.
Is that the same Kane Roberts who had that one-hit single, Does Anyone Really Fall in Love Anymore?
Right. Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. I think.
Kane Roberts versus Bobby Rock in a cage match. Who you got?
Yeah, I'll have to find that song and send a link to you on Facebook, Ron. See if that's
okay.
Does anyone have any Mahavishnu Orchestra albums?
I do.
I do. Yeah, I think we all do.
I had one, and it's oh my God, it's not Ring of Fire. It's help me here, guys. It's yellow cover, early 70s.
Oh, something with Bird on the
yes, yes, that one. That's the only one I have. And speaking of Mahavishnu Orchestra, Jerry Goodman, who was a member of the Mahavishnu Orchestra, has reunited with the Flock, which was his first band before he joined Mahavishnu. And the Flock is back, and Flock is talking about making a new album for the first time since 1975.
Birds of Fire, there it is. Yeah.
Thank you. Hey man, I met two Brady bros last. Craig and Bobby were in town. Well, I would have gone and seen that too. To see, I could have brought my Partridge, not my Partridge, but my Brady Bunch album. I got 2 of them now. I'd be like, excuse me, can I get your autograph, please? Birds of Fire. So, hang on a second. Oh, now where did he go?
Oh, he done disappeared again.
It's Dave Cam.
Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah.
See, you never know what the heck you're going to get here. That's all there is to it.
There you go.
Yeah, this one.
Ever-mounting or inner-mounting flame. Yeah.
With it.
Oh, okay. I never seen that one.
How about Visions of the Emerald Band?
That I've seen.
I've seen that.
One.
That's cool. Mike Lookinland plays keys in a Grateful Dead tribute band now. Why not?
And the Birds of Fire album.
Yeah, there is that one.
Fire, yeah.
Good rap. Yeah, he's had some good guitar stuff.
And you could tell by the lettering that was Roger Dean. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a great show. I don't think I could ask for anything better. I want to thank Ron. I want to thank Dave for being on here. I want to thank the audience here for being here. And, you guys are just great. Seriously. And I thank you guys for taking time out of your busy days, everybody out there, to be able to come and watch this, sometimes travesty, sometimes tragedy, but you never know what you're going to get when you come here to Psycho Splatters. Okay. But I can tell you, it's always going to be powered by coffee. And that's right. Every time. And this really important fact. Psycho Splatters is a Love Peace production.